Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Welcome to Lab 10. Apologies for not being able to record Lab 9. I got sick. Thankfully it was not COVID. I just needed to get my flu shot. I'm feeling much better and I'm really excited to walk you guys through today's lab. I hope all of you had a wonderful Halloween. And yeah, it's getting cold day by day, so stay warm and stay safe. So for today's lab, we're dealing with a new interface that's ArcGIS Online. Personally, I really like exploring all the features ArcGIS Online has to offer, and you can just read it here that it is Esri's online mapping platform, and it has some really cool and powerful tools that a lot of these mobile and web applications use as a foundation. So just think about like Uber or Lyft or like just like Google Maps. So all of this is based on online mapping platforms. Some are delivered by Esri, and there are a lot of open source software out there that provide online mapping platform too. So for today's lab, we will be going back and forth between ArcGIS Pro and ArcGIS Online, and we are interested in determining which glaciers would be visible from a certain point in a viewshed for Wyoming's tallest mountain, that is Gannett Peak. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So yeah, let's go ahead and first of all unzip our folders. So right click, extract all. Same thing for this. Okay, great. So we're going online. So let's follow this link. It's going to take you to this homepage for ArcGIS Online, and we're going to sign in using our username that we've created for this class. So you should probably have your usernames sent to you by Dr. Phoebe McNeely. So yeah, after entering your credentials, you're going to see this University of Utah Geography Department's homepage, and please feel free to explore these tabs on top. So if I go to gallery, I'm going to see this collection of various maps and layers that the department has been collecting over the years, and this might be a good data source or a repository for a lot of your final projects. So yeah, I think you guys should explore this. I think it might be useful. But for today's lab, we're gonna click on our map tab here. And as you can see, your map frame is here. Your contents pane is on your left side. Up top here, you're not seeing a lot of features. So ArcGIS Online does rely on ArcGIS Pro for a lot of the analysis portion. So let's go ahead and add in two layers. The first one is glaciers 100K. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go here, and you're going to see this add button, and just do a drop down and do search for layers and replace my content with ArcGIS Online, and let's search for glaciers 100K. And there you go. We're looking for this thing. So I'm gonna add. And you'll see a lot of these glaciers here. We're interested in Wyoming, so I am going to zoom into the Wind River range here. So, okay. And next, we're going to add in Gannett Peak and make sure that we're searching it inside my organization. So, copy, paste Gannett Peak, and let's do my organization. And we will be adding this one, the one that is from published by C Riley _UFU. Okay, so let's see. I think it's added. Let's go to content. Oh, it hasn't been added. Let's try that again. Okay, it's taking a while. I wonder why that is. And I'm not seeing any point here. That is super weird. I'm not, oh, okay, there it is. It finally showed up. So I'm gonna go to details. Okay, so I think it was like my server problem because I have 3 Gannett Peaks now. So I'm just gonna check these 2. I wonder if I could remove them. I'm fairly new to ArcGIS Online too, so just figuring this out. Let me. Okay. I'm gonna remove this layer. I'm gonna remove this too. And there you go. So you should only have 1 Gannett Peak and 1 Glacier's 100K. Alright, so moving on, we're gonna create a new project and it says to connect with Lab 9 geodatabase. I'm sorry, this is a typo. I don't know who was creating or designing these labs, so this was a typo. It's Lab 10 geodatabase. So let's open up a new project. Okay, let's give it a name. Make sure you're saving it inside Lab 10. All right. Let's add in our data. Let's do a folder connection. Okay, so I'm gonna add in my elevation raster. There you go. This is a DEM, or a digital elevation model, in a raster dataset or a raster data, and surprisingly the shape file for Gannett Peak is already here. I'm not gonna add this right away because our document wants to add it from path. So before we do that, we're going to check if our licensing options has spatial analyst and 3D analyst tools already there. So the way you can do that is you can go to project tab, and under here you'll see a licensing option. Click on that, and if you go under Esri extensions, you'll probably see if you have these tools. So I have 3D analyst and spatial analyst. I'm good. I'm sure you guys have it too. If not, it's going to be very difficult to do this lab. So after we've checked that, we're going to add in our data or the layers glaciers 100K and Gannett Peak from online map. So for that, we're going to go to map, we're going to do add layer, and we're going to click data from path. So for this, we're going to have to add in the URL. So let's go back. So for Gannett Peak, you probably just make sure you select one of these layers. And for Gannett Peak, go to more options and go down to show item details. And it's going to open up a new tab here. And if you go down further, you're going to see the URL at the bottom right. So let's copy this. Let's go back to ArcGIS Pro. Let's paste that and let's add it in. Okay, so for some reason, okay, there you go. Now it's showing up. I don't know why it's sub-layered. If I remove this, I'm gonna get rid of all of it. So if not, I can also add it from here. So I'll probably get rid of this one. If you guys have it sub-layer too, please remove it. We're gonna do the same thing for glaciers 100K now. So let's go to show item details. Let's copy our URL. Let's do add data from path. Let's paste this here. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. Okay, I don't think this will be a problem. If it is, we'll figure it out. So if I zoom in here, I'm gonna see these. So these are the glaciers, and this is the peak. You know what? I'm gonna remove this and just do add data. You guys don't have to do this if yours is already figured out. Copy. So data from path. Sorry, I'm doing the same thing. Yeah, okay, so it should look something like this. So that's how you add in your data from ArcGIS Online. So if there are some layers that you're interested in importing, this is how you do it. And now we're gonna calculate the areas visible from the Gannett Peak using the viewshed tool. So let's open up this link that talks about a z-factor. So you guys must be wondering what a viewshed is. It is, or it indicates a view of an area from a specific vantage point. So it allows us to calculate what we can and cannot see from a specific point where in this case is Gannett Peak. So we're trying to see, go to the top, to the peak, and we're going to see which glaciers are visible from that point and which of them are not. So, and talking about Z factor or Z factor, it just helps us to fine tune the units of measure for Z units when they are different from the XY units of the input surface. So if all of our units, that is X, Y, and Z, are in the same unit of measure, Z is going to be automatically 1, which is also the default. So for example, if you have your Z units in feet and your horizontal XY units in meter, you could use a Z factor that is already allocated here to convert your Z units from feet to meters, which is 1 foot is equal to 0.3048, right? Yeah, so for each latitude, a Z factor is already defined here. We just have to make sure where Gannett Peak falls, in which latitude that is. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go to my contents pane and I'm gonna right click on my elevation and do properties. So let's go to source and let's go to extend. So let's make sure where our raster data or this raster square falls in the globe. So it is in decimal degrees, which is the unit here, and you can see like the top most latitude, this is the bottommost latitude, this is the leftmost longitude, and this is the rightmost longitude. So our topmost and our bottommost latitude falls somewhere in 40, right? So that means that our Z factor will be something like this value. So I'm just gonna copy this and let's go back. So let's see elevation. So as you can see, the elevation units is in meters. And if we go to our link here, it says if your XY units are in decimal degrees and your Z units are in meters, these are the sum of the appropriate Z factors for particular latitudes. So we've already copied this, and we're gonna close this, and we're gonna go to analysis, tools, and your geoprocessing feature is gonna pop up. We're gonna type in viewshed, and we're gonna use the 3D analyst tool for this. So let's select that. Our input raster is gonna be elevation. Our input point is gonna be the net peak, and this is going to be the name for the output raster, which you can change to. So I'm just gonna go with viewshed 1, and our Z factor is going to be this value that we've copied for the latitude 40, and I'm gonna hit run. It's gonna take a while. Okay, so once this is executed, we can see that, okay, so we can see that from this point, these are the features that, these are the places or the areas that are visible, and the orange here, and you can see a lot of them overlap with our glaciers, polygons or areas as well, right? So after that, after calculating our viewshed, we're going to change it into a shapefile of the glacier areas that are visible from the peak. So the viewshed output will be converted to a shapefile using the raster to polygon tool. So once again, go to tools. Let's do raster to polygon. So our input raster is going to be viewshed 1, and our output polygon feature is going to be glacier viewshed. And I'm going to check the simplify polygons feature because this is going to smoothen out all these rough edges, as you can see here. Let's not change anything else. Let's hit run. And you should see something like this. Okay, so now we're gonna change our symbology. Oops, okay, go back. So we're gonna do unique values because we're going to categorize the area as what we can see and what we cannot see from this point. So our field 1 is going to be grid code, and this is going to have 2 values. So this is what we call Boolean values. So Boolean values provide 0 and 1, where 0 indicates what we cannot see and 1 indicates what we can see. In this case, pink is the areas that we cannot see from that peak, and green areas are the ones that we can see. So I'm gonna get rid of all other values, and I'm gonna go back. So let's go to our document. So after creating this shapefile, we use a definition query to select only the areas that have a grid code value of 1, which is pretty easy, right? So I'm gonna right click on Glacier Viewshed. I'm gonna go down to properties. I'm gonna do a definition query. I'm gonna do a new definition query where I'm gonna select grid code is equal to 1, so that we only have areas that we can see from the peak. So there you go. These look a bit smoothed out, right? I'm gonna make sure to save my project. So now we're gonna do an intersect. So we're going to intersect these areas here that overlap between glaciers and these green areas. So I'm gonna go ahead to analysis. I can do intersect directly. So my input feature is going to be glacier viewshed and glaciers 100K. And this is going to be my output feature class. All attributes, everything looks good. I'm gonna hit run. And once that's executed, let me get rid of this. And there you go. You're gonna see this intersected right here, which is what we are looking for. So great. So this is exactly the areas that are visible, orange, and these are the glaciers that are visible. All right. So moving on, we're gonna upload the shapefile that we created in this step to ArcGIS Online. So for this, whenever you're dealing with shapefiles, make sure that it's always in a zipped folder. Even when you share it with your peers, colleagues, always send shapefiles in a zipped folder. So the way we can do that is I am going to right click here. I'm going to do data export features. I want to make sure that it's saved outside a geodatabase because, as you guys probably know, once your shapefile is saved inside a geodatabase, it's going to be a feature class and not a shapefile. And we want an independent shapefile, right? So I'm going to make sure my output location is not going to be my geodatabase. I do want to save it inside lab 10. So I'm going to select lab 10, sorry, but not the geodatabase. And I'm going to name this as glaciers view. I'm going to hit run now. And there you go. So if I open up my folder for lab 10, I'm gonna see a bunch of these shapefile extensions here. And I'm gonna select all of these. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna do send to compressed zip folder, and it's going to give me an error. There you go. It's gonna say file not found or no read permission. That's because it's opened up here. So we want to get rid of this, remove, and if I open up lab 10 again, I'm gonna see it here. So I'm gonna select all of this, and I am going to send to a compressed zip folder, and I'm gonna give it this name, that's fine. And there you go. My shapefile is all zipped and ready to be uploaded. So I'm gonna open up my ArcGIS Online, and I'm gonna add in to add from file. I'm gonna navigate to glaciers view, and I'm going to import the layer from ArcGIS Pro to ArcGIS Online. And as you can see right now, all of the glaciers are color-coded, but we're only interested in seeing the areas that are visible. So our attribute is going to be grid code, and we're gonna do unique values. I'm okay with this color, so I'm gonna do done now. And let's see, I want to change the peak symbol. We're gonna add peak, so it's gonna be single symbol. Okay, I want a push pin. Maybe a red one. Okay. Maybe this color. Okay, there you go. Click OK. I'm gonna go to my Glaciers 100K, change the color to something blue with no outline. So yeah, this is, and also set my transparency to somewhere here, to OK. And so there you go, these are my glaciers, which might need maybe a different color. I don't know if it looks like a water body, but okay. Oh, so it looks like my peak symbol changed here because I didn't do done art earlier. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do that again. Okay, do done. And now we're gonna add our file. Sorry, we've already added our file. Now we're gonna add 2 different layers to me, and just to make sure that it will be useful to someone who wants to get to the top. So first thing, it's gonna be trails, right? So we're gonna do add, search for layers, ArcGIS Online, and let's type in Main River Range Trails. And one individual has already created this, so I'm gonna do add, and there you go. So next we want to do something from a reliable source, such as the National Forest Service. So I'm going to add in the administrative boundaries. You can see this green right here. Okay, so those are the 2 layers that we've added, and let's go to details. So this is all of our layers. Looks good. And so we've adjusted this to a transparency. The net peak is a different color, no borders. We've chosen a map that allows us to see the map features and also provide context for the mapped area. So now we're going to create a presentation. So ArcGIS Online is pretty cool. For that, we're gonna save it. So do save as. Let's give it a name. Lab 10. Yeah, lab 10 is good. Let's add tags like Wyoming. So it has no existing tags, so I'm just gonna hit enter. Let's do the net peak. Glaciers. Let's give a description of this map. So this map shows consists of a viewshed for glaciers from Gannett Peak, Wyoming. Viewshed for glaciers. Okay, I'm going to save my map. And as soon as I do this, I'm going to see a new option here that says create presentation. So I'm going to click on that. And we're going to add 2 slides as per our deliverable requirements. So one slide should have only the glaciers 100K layer, and the other should have all the layers. So I'm going to click this add button, and I'm going to do like title viewshed. Visible from that peak, Wyoming. And I'm gonna add in slide number 2 that says that only has glaciers 100K. Wyoming. Okay, and now I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna hit play. So let's see how our presentation looks. Not bad. This looks good. I'm happy with it. Awesome. So the way we can get our URL so that you guys can share the presentations with me is we're gonna go down to home, go to content, and it's gonna show all the contents that we've created in ArcGIS Online, or just as using Esri products. So this one's mine. I'm gonna click on it, and this is gonna show the description, the title, my name. So I'm gonna hit the share button, and I'm gonna modify my sharing privileges to everyone, and I'm gonna hit save. Hit OK. If I go down, so you guys can share this, I don't know, in your Facebook or other social media, and you're gonna see the share button here, and this is gonna give you a short URL. So just copy this and paste it to the deliverable document so that I can see it. And next deliverable is you have to briefly describe how you verify the quality of data when you're using ArcGIS Online and what key details you should look for. So yeah, that was lab 10. We only have 2 more labs. I hope you guys enjoy doing this. I'll see you guys next week. Take care and stay safe and healthy. Bye.